Welcome to this edition of Education Briefs, brought to you by the New Jersey Association of School Administrators, which is comprised of Chief Education Officers and school administrators representing school districts throughout New Jersey. Here is Dr. Richard Bozza, Executive Director of the NJASA.
The Opportunity Scholarship Act, Senate Bill 1872, is a bill designed to allow corporations to make tax-deductible contributions to a state scholarship fund that will permit low-income students in failing schools to attend a private, charter, or public school of their choice. While the bill and its supporters are well-intended, it's imperative to understand the damaging consequences it will have on our public school system. The Act diverts $360 million in tax revenue, with 25% or $90 million being utilized to educate children who are already in private and parochial schools. The proposed corporate tax breaks could be used to help fully fund the School Funding Reform Act instead of subsidizing students from low-income districts to attend private or parochial schools with no accountability or state educational standards. S. 1872 cuts state aid to the public school districts that lose voucher students to private and parochial schools and creates an innovation fund under the control of the Commissioner of Education. At his sole discretion, this money will be awarded to chronically failing schools for innovative practices, while the affected districts will need to apply for the funds they just lost. Basically, the state would divert funds from our public schools to private and parochial schools, at a time when the school funding reform allocations to local school districts have been significantly cut. This legislation pretends to be designed to help low-income students from chronically failing schools. But the reality is, its pool of eligible students goes way beyond students from chronically failing schools. It includes all low-income students from any district that has even one chronically failing school. Students would be eligible for scholarships in 2 districts where the only failing school is a charter school, and in the 19 Cherry Hill schools where the failing school is an alternative school with 37 students. Private and parochial schools should also be required by law to demonstrate that they are doing a better job educating students than the public schools from which the students come. Requirements for state testing should apply to their entire student body, not just the voucher students which they accept. Look, we all want a good education for our children, but the answer is not to move low-income students from schools in our cities into private and religious schools. We need to support and improve our public schools in those districts where a high percentage of students have not met state standards. The timing of this bill just couldn't be worse, and we encourage you to contact your lawmakers and voice your opposition to the Opportunity Scholarship Act, Senate Bill 1872.
New Jersey's Chief Education Officers, moving education forward. To learn more about New Jersey's Chief Education Officers, visit us at the web at njasa.net.